Before we start off this episode, there is something I would like to point out. Right here on the Ryoshima Coast map, there is a clover that you can dig up for a little extra praise. That's not the major thing I wanted to point out, though. The major thing is this tunnel right here. If you head on into it, you're really not going to expect it to go where it does. But believe it or not, it's actually a shortcut back to Madame Fawn's place in the Agata Forest. So if you need to come back to Shinshu Field for anything, this is a really quick way to do it without having to use a mermaid coin. Anyway, without that out of the way, on with the video. Hello folks, Everchanger here, and welcome back to more Ōkami. Last time, we made our way here to Seion City, and we discovered that the place is covered in this awful, disgusting mist. And then we met the very well-endowed priestess Rao, who wants to go find the fox rods so that she can help Queen Himiko get rid of this awful mist. And that's what we're going to be doing today, so let's head right on out to Ryoshima Coast where she asked us to go, and let's see if we can't find that holy artifact. Boy, Ami, you seemed really eager to help her. Well, I couldn't say no to those two either. Those two, oh god. But we can't let our guard down. I mean, who knows? That busty babe might be Himiko's puppet. And if they're up to no good, then we should get our hands on those fox rods before they do. Yeah, let's do it. Alrighty, here we are on Ryoshima Coast back at this thing. Let's jump all the way up onto it this time and screw it up and have the camera freak out. Hey, what's up with you? Oh, I know. You want to climb up this. Well, you learned that move, didn't ya? What are you waiting for? Jump with everything you got. Yeah, I know how to do it, Isun. I just messed it up. Alright, I keep getting caught, like, on that little lip thing. There we go. And check it out. There's a great big moon symbol in the ocean right there. Wow, what a nice view. Too bad it's spoiled by that sunken ship. Sorry looking thing, ain't it? Hey, look! What's that strange pattern on the bottom of the sea? Looks like a huge crescent moon or something. It's shaped too perfectly to be a coral reef. Hey, what was it that busty babe said? Something about the moon turret. Wonder if she meant this thing. Now, what was it she said? She said that she wanted to meet us here when the moon was high in the sky, so let's give that a shot. Holy smokes! That's not something you see every day, or every night in this case. Wonder if it's safe to walk on that lagoon. Indeed it is, and that is where we want to go, so let's head right on over there. This is a really cool part of the game, I feel like, because you actually get to walk around on the ocean floor once you fall all the way down here. Like, look at this. This is a really neat little view. I mean, sure, the texturing might be a little weird looking when you look up close at it, but I think it's just a really cool idea in concept. And there's actually a couple of things buried down here, although I don't think any of it is outright required for anything. I think mainly it's just treasures and stuff like that, so let's slash this one open. And we get yet another Exorcism Slip M. Wow, that's like some seriously good stuff right there. And it looks like there's another thing buried right over here. Now, while we're digging up this treasure, I do have to apologize for last episode, because it was pretty long. I didn't intend for that episode to be anywhere near that long. I just really underestimated the amount of plot-relevant text they were going to throw at us, and I also got a little bit lost at the start there, which is a little unfortunate, so I do apologize, and I'm hoping we won't have another video that long for the rest of the series. Anyway, right back here is a pretty well-hidden one. Slash this one open. Inside is actually a godly charm. Not quite as nice as I would have liked for something that's so well hidden, I personally would have preferred a golden peach, but we've already got like, I don't know, like 5 of those, and I haven't used them yet, so really not that big of a deal. Anyway, with that, let's head right on up here and enter the sunken ship. And here we are. Dreary place, isn't it? I do have to warn you guys, this place is basically this game's bottom of the well, anyone who's played Ocarina of Time, which I assume is most of you. That door looks cursed. They probably sealed it up like that to keep looters out. But I've never seen such a sinister-looking curse before. I sure hope this whole ship isn't one big curse. At any rate, this puppy ain't gonna be easy to dispel. Amaterasu! And big anime-style close-up of the boobs, because of course. But Busty Babe! You're here already, both of you. Oh god, I'm sorry I'm late. My political duties delayed me. This game's humor sometimes. This is the treasure ship you were talking about, babe? Yes. This is where the fox rods Queen Himiko was looking for are. It was sunk by the water dragon, and now it's filled with monsters. But my holy powers can easily deal with a few dozen monsters. There's nothing to worry about. Let's go in! That's all fine and dandy, babe. But what about this cursed door here? Was it sealed up like that to keep looters out? Or maybe it's the curse of those who died when the water dragon sunk their ship. That thing's just seething with an intensely evil power. So, there's a cursed door to stop anyone from getting through. I see. That's a neat trick. You got that right. We better find another way in. And of course she keeps her prayer slips there. It's time we joined forces, Amaterasu. There will be more barriers sealed by magic as we get further inside. When we come to them, I'll use a prayer slip to break the seal. So if you don't mind... And this is the introduction of the partner mechanic, something that was expanded upon greatly in the sequel to this game, Ōkami Den. So, Amaterasu, handling the prayer slips is my affair. But I would like your assistance in targeting. Don't worry, what I ask is not difficult. You know how to manipulate the brush of the gods, I believe. Use that power to guide the prayer slip from my hand to its target. So let's practice on the curse barring the door, shall we? Yes, indeed, this is super simple. All you need to do is draw a line from Rao to a cursed zone, and she will just chuck a prayer slip at it. Fantastic! As long as I have my prayer slips, there's nothing to be afraid of. Not even monsters. Enough practice now. Great treasure awaits. Let's go find the fox rods. Indeed we shall. You will notice right here there are ghosts of imps that we have killed in the past floating around. When you go to pause the game with your brush, you'll notice they don't stop moving, which is a little freaky. So you're going to have to be pretty quick with your brushwork to get them dispelled. And it's worth noting, these guys drop demon fangs when you kill them with a prayer slip, so you definitely want to go out of your way to kill all of the ones you can find, just because demon fangs are a very valuable resource coming up. Anyhow, right here, this is the first main area of the ship. There's a couple of these, and you'll notice there is quite a bit of treasure. Whoa! Just look at those treasure chests! Hehehe. We're gonna be millionaires even before we find those fox rods. What Easton says is correct. There is quite a bit of treasure down here. And I believe I just heard the shriek of a little girl or something. I believe it's these dolls making these noises. If you slash them, their head pops off and you hear the noise again. It's really, really creepy. Anyway, this chest right here has a bullhorn, which is definitely worth a lot. This one has Celestial Envoy. I actually want to read that because it gives some interesting plot points for something that's going to happen later on in the adventure. So let's see if we can find that. I believe it's under the travel guide. Scroll all the way down here. Aha, here it is. When the spirits of evil rise up to infest this world, those benevolent gods who guide us will find their strength drained. Their power can only be sustained by the faith of humanity. I, the legendary Holy Messenger, acting as the sixth celestial envoy, have spent my years traveling and preaching to promote this faith. Only my tribe can communicate with the gods and act as Holy Messenger, spreading the words of the gods throughout the land. If we fail, the gods' power can never be restored, and all is lost. My brush is the tool I use to spread the divine message. The path I have walked has been long and fraught with peril. However, for the sake of the next to take on the mantle of Celestial Envoy, I cannot rest for even a moment. That is a very, very relevant scroll for something that's going to be happening later in the game, so be sure to keep it in mind. Right here, we have a Holy Bone M, which is very nice. That chest over there, however, you might notice it looks a little bit different, a little bit discolored. Walk up to it, and whoop-de-doo, it's actually a mimic. Yeah, kind of freaky stuff. Luckily, you can dispel it with Rouse Prayer Slips, same as normal, and this one over here I believe is the same, and these things will do damage to you, I'm pretty sure, if you're not careful. Yep, there we go. Actually, no, he didn't do damage to me, he just knocked me back. That's a little weird. Anyway, if we come over here, there was a ghost here earlier. There it is. You see that right there? I don't think we can dispel this one. Let's try it. Yeah, we can't dispel this one. This is actually the ghost of the Spider Queen that we saw earlier. Really, really freaky stuff. And yeah, you can't deal with this one. So basically all you have to do is avoid it. Speaking of things to avoid, there are these spike things in the walls that you're definitely going to want to keep away from. Well and good. And usually there's Usually there's a nook or something in these hallways, so you're going to want to make sure to explore a little bit. Ow. Ow, ow, ow indeed. Anyhow, right up here, we're going to get introduced to a couple of new enemies. I believe these enemies are called Jiro and Saburo. They're both these crab-like enemies, and basically their gimmick is that they're based on this Japanese legend having to do with a couple who wanted to get married, but for some reason or another they were not able to actually stay together. And so as a result of this, they actually hold themselves up in the ocean somewhere so that they could be together, which is why they appear here as crabs. They're really, really odd enemies, and they can be a real pain in the butt to fight, as you can imagine. Unfortunately, we don't have their floral finisher yet, and we will not have that for quite a while, actually. So don't stress out when you can't get Demon Fangs from these guys. Anyway, with that out of the way, I believe... Which way did we come in here? That's one thing that's a little bit annoying. Sometimes I can get a little turned around in this area just because it's a little confusing. Okay, I think that's the area we came in, so we want to go this way. As you can see, this room is very symmetrical, so it's completely understandable if you get lost somehow. Anyway, right here is a golden gate. Not really sure what the point of that is, since I'm pretty sure there was a save mirror right when we walked in, like, 7 minutes ago. Anyhow, right here is the introduction of a really, really cool mechanic. Isn't it beautiful? Even a ship doomed by the water dragon can enjoy the starlight. But it only looks like this inside the ship when there's a new moon. As soon as the sun comes up, cold seawater floods the ship again. Yes, this ship has suffered a cruel fate. That is something very interesting that she's mentioned right there. Now, one thing I guess is worth pointing out right here is that this is not one of those areas that you can only come to once. You can come back to this area whenever you feel like after you've completed it, so you do not have to worry about getting a hold of all the treasure in here your first time through. And as a result, there are going to be some collectibles, so keep that in mind. Anyway, right here, we want to draw the sun. I said the sun. There we go. And when the sun rises outside, the water comes back in. That's impossible. It can't be daybreak yet. Surely this can't be. You didn't do this, did you, Amaterasu? Your powers can control the very movement of the heavens. Yes, indeed they can. Very, very interesting stuff. Anyway, now that we have raised the water, we want to come back into this room for a very, very annoying, I guess, mini-boss? Right up here, we're going to get introduced to yet another new enemy. As you can see, Jiro and Saburo have combined to form Ichiro, which is a shark. I'm pretty sure I have all those names straight. It's actually a little bit confusing and I may have gotten it wrong. But anyway, what you want to do is you want to get rid of that guy's armor, and then you can basically just power slash him to death. I've seen a lot of Let's Players have trouble with this fight, but it's actually very easy if you just start spamming power slash. And once again, we do not have that guy's floral finisher, so don't stress out about it. Anyway, with that perfect rank for time and damage, wow, we can head back into the previous area that we were in with all the treasure chests. And I believe that's right through this way, and they are kind enough to provide you with a little bit of walkway right here, so you don't have to spam your lily pad power too terribly much in this area. Anyway, right through here, you'll notice that this, oh god, the doll's like floating in the water. That's really creepy, actually, and its head still pops off. Hey. Anyway, right here, this barrel actually floats, which is a pretty important fact for later. We just want to jump up here, and there is yet another golden gate. Seriously, they go crazy with these things. And right here, there is a bit of a cannon, which is pretty important. So, if we jump right off this way, if you do want to grab the golden gate, that cutscene actually moves you away from it, so you're definitely going to want to keep that in mind as you go along. Anyway, this cannon works exactly the same as the one in the moon cave. You just draw a cannonball for it, and it will just fire off. It's really cool. Anyway, if we lower it down, basically where you stand on this cannon dictates where it's going to be aiming, and it can get a little bit finicky, I do have to admit. Alright, there's the bottom one. In the bottom one, there is actually a key. Unfortunately, we cannot get that yet because it's under the water. And let's see if we can also get that middle one while we're at it. One of these has something very important that you're definitely going to want to get. And, of course, I missed. Alright, let's try that again. Alright, still a little bit off on the aiming. That middle one's probably the hardest one to get. Did I get it? Yes, I got it. Nice. Alright, we want to head over here because there's a little bit of treasure that you can get right in this spot. That is all quite important, actually. Alrighty, I have to get used to using the double jump again because you go like a third of the game without using it. It's kind of crazy. And I fell. Of course I did. Ay, ay, ay. Alright, I need to get better with this double jump, seriously. I fell again? Come on. Alright, you know what? I think I can just jump from here, so let's just do that. Alright, and with that, we obtain a pearl, which is very nice. And I want to point out these skulls. Power slash them. Yeah, kinda spooky stuff. Anyway, the real treasure that you want to grab in this room is that upper chest, because it has something very good in it. In fact, it has a sun fragment. Definitely want to grab a hold of that one before you move onwards. But anyway, now that we've gotten that, we can proceed in this direction. And you will see there are even more ghostly demons, so you're going to want to take care of those and grab as many demon fangs as you can. In fact, there's like 3 of them. Can we do more than one at a time? I don't actually know. No, it'll only go to the last one you went for, which isn't terrible, but it can be a little bit annoying, especially when you have a lot of guys like this. Anyway, somewhere around here there's a bit of a nook. Yes, there it is. right over here is something very, very worth your time. Inside this chest is a stray bead. So we got the amazing duo of the two main collectibles in this game. We have a sun fragment, and immediately after, stray bead, which is super awesome. Anyway, this room right here is a little bit freaky. These hand things will lift up and slap you. They'll just lift up out of the water, and it's so, so creepy. Ugh, I hate these guys. What you want to do is you want to wait for one to actually lift you up, and then you can make the jump up onto this scaffolding, and then they will actually try and knock you off, which is really, really, ugh, really, really freaky stuff. Man, this guy just won't give up. Yeah, if you were not a fan of the hand enemies in Zelda games, those guys are probably going to freak you out right and good. Anyway, right through here, we actually get a view of the sunlight again. If we jump down, you know, now that I think of it, I don't think I actually wanted to jump down right there. Yeah, I did not want to jump down right there, actually. Derp, hopefully you weren't following too close along. I actually have to wrap back around because I'm a complete idiot, so I'll be right back. Alrighty, back in this room, there's actually something a little bit different, I believe, that you have to do in this room. If you jump down right there, right then, you're actually going to get a little bit stuck. That is what we wanted to check out. I actually skipped this cutscene by accident somehow, so a little bit of a derp on my part. Anyway, what we want to do, I believe, is we want to slash this down, and it will drop right there. If we stand on it, it will actually begin to roll. And what we want to do is we want to roll it all the way to the end right here. Can get a little bit finicky. It's basically rolling physics, which aren't as bad as ball pushing physics in my opinion, but it can get a little bit weird. What we want to do is you just want to inch it over here the best we can, and it will hook in right here, which is very, very important because you see it forms a bit of a counterbalance with that one that we saw earlier. And right up here there's a bit of a treasure actually. Monkey statue, which definitely should sell for quite a bit because it's one of those zodiac treasures. Anyway, once we've done that, now we want the hand to lift us up so we can get up there. And god, this still freaks me out. And we're not quite close enough yet. Alright. Can we get up there? We're like under the thing right here, so it's a little bit difficult. Alright, there we go. Now we want to deal with this gauntlet of hands. And I actually got pretty easy there. Some of those hand patterns require you to jump, but I got a bit lucky. But yeah, now that we did that is when we want to jump over here. That was a little bit of a derp on my part, and I do apologize. Once we jump down here, we can stand on this guy, and then we can pull out the moon again. If we do that, the water will sink back into the depths, and this weight will actually lift. And what that does is it creates basically a bit of a shortcut back to the main area, which I think is pretty neat. And once we've done that, we should be able to get up here. Let's see. There we go. Yep. Alright, and now that we have done that, we can return back to this room when the water is completely down. Now, I am going to show something right here that is admittedly optional and a little bit creepy, but it's definitely worth your time to do this. You see that weird monster thing that was summoning the hands out of the water is actually right here, and you can use this spiked barrel and roll over it to deal damage to it. This isn't exactly an enemy, like a boss fight or anything like that, but it is something you can take care of. So if you roll this barrel over it, you're going to do quite a bit of damage to this thing. And yeah, messing around with these barrels can get really, really frustrating just because the barrel does damage to you if you touch the wrong spot, and this seaweed monster also deals damage to you if you're standing in the wrong spot. What you basically want to do is you want to roll over this thing repeatedly and continue to do damage to it, and it will die and reward you with a whopping 50 praise. Yeah, crazy, crazy stuff. 50 praise? Yeah, serious business. Anyway, with the water down, we can now return back through this hallway, and we will be able to get a hold of that key that we could not grab earlier because it was under the water. You can see there's a lockjaw right there, so it's really not too terrible of a journey with this key. It's just across the room. And if for some reason you need to get right back up there, they actually do provide a bit of a water spout for you, which is super nice. Right over here, I love how he just freaks out. I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but I really like how he just panics. And the camera's really weird right here, wow. I love how he panics when there's the key there, because you know he is going to get stabbed through the eye. And we can proceed deeper into the dungeon. I believe we're actually right about at the end, surprisingly. This mini dungeon's actually pretty short. There's no final boss for the dungeon or anything like that. We can just get right on through Ōkami. Oh, the Crimson Helm Ghost is inhibiting our movement. Guy, come on, leave me alone, please. Oh, it's so creepy. Anyway, right here seems to be the main treasure trove of the sunken ship, which is really cool. Right here, go away, dude. We have a lacquerware set. Right here we have another one of those ghostly hands of creepiness. And a second one right over here, so you're going to want to exercise these guys best you can. And even a whopping third one right here. They really go wild with these. And Rao. Okay, there we go. That was a little weird. It's actually a pretty awesome pose right there. Take care of that. In this chest right here... Oh, their explosions hurt you? That's cheap. We have a stray bead, which is the second of 2 in this dungeon. And with that... Oh god, my butt's on fire. What? How even? Can we put that out, please? There we go. Hey. Right here is the most important treasure of the area. Open this up. You obtained Lucky Mallet. What is this? Finally, something interesting. Wait. This is a Lucky Mallet. Is this what you were looking for, babe? It can shrink people down until they become so small that they can pass through the eye of a needle. Remember what Waka said last episode? Yeah. Certainly a tool with such powers is a great treasure. But it doesn't provide an answer to Queen Himiko's prayers for peace. Someone else mentioned an eye of a needle lately. Oh yeah, it was that half-baked prophet Waka back in Seon City. Remember? He said something like, even the most solid defense has a tiny gap like the eye of a needle. Wonder what kind of place he was talking about. Amaterasu, it seems what I was looking for isn't on this ship. Unfortunately, we must leave without it. Aw, cheer up, babe. The ocean's a big place. You'll find what you want somewhere. That may be so. But going into the ocean now is suicide. Well, as long as the water dragon is still about, that is. Sheesh. Nobody can shut up about that thing. You'd think the water dragon ruled Ryoshima Coast or something. Worth noting, we have not actually seen this dragon yet. Well, don't forget we have Boss Ami here with us. Let's go think things over back in the city. I'm sick of this ship. So am I, Isun. So am I. Anyway, with that, we have nothing for it. Let's leave the ship. Can't you swim any faster, Amaterasu? Huh? I mean, what do you expect, babe? Ami's a wolf, not a speedboat. Oh, I get it, babe. You want to go to the bathroom, right? We don't mind. And there's nothing but wide open sea all around. Nobody's looking. Go ahead. That's what everyone does. You don't understand. This swelling of the waves is a sign that it's coming. We'll be helpless if we're attacked here. Here we go again. If it is that water dragon, was it? If it is, we'll take care of the beast in a jiffy. It'll regret the day it messed with us. What the... Where'd that thing come from? Is that the water dragon? Look out!